Jeg står her sammen med Jason, og han står altså for et spil, som ligner noget, vi aldrig nogensinde har set før i Ringenes Herre-universet. Og det er rimelig spændende, fordi det er lidt ligesom spil, som vi kender, League of Legends, Heroes of Earth, osv. osv. Jason, you are taking the brand from the movies to a new height, because normally when we see this in games with the Lord of the Rings universe, it is very mainstream games. You're taking it to a kind of e-sportish way. How did you do that?
Well, we came to this wanting to do a particular kind of game. We're really trying to do a new competitive experience on the consoles, the online console space. And so a genre that we're very interested in is the MOBA genre. It's multiplayer online battle arena. Really coming along on the PCs, especially the last couple of years. It's very competitive, but it's got a lot of teamwork to it, and you can really customize your characters within it. We thought, well, we want to try and do that. And then we thought, well, what is the perfect license to do it with? It's the Lord of the Rings, obviously. Being part of Warner Brothers, we have access to a lot of that material. So we're able to work with Weta, and of course we're able to work with the book licensors, et cetera, et cetera. So we have access to all that wealth of information. And within there you find, characters. There's fantastic characters. You got Gandalf, you got Sauron, Gollum, you name it. So we thought, well, let's take those characters, figure out their essence really, and what makes them really cool, and how would they play in a game? What kind of abilities would they have in a game? So we took iconic characters, we took obscure characters from the lore, and so the combining of Middle-earth and Guardians of Middle-earth has just made complete sense.
Normally when you see games like this, it's on the PC, because people need to click their keyboard a trillion times to do actions. How did you boil this down to a console?
So it wasn't really a matter of boiling down, I think. Knowing what we wanted to take from the genre, we took a lot of inspiration from all sorts of games there. When we started to look at it, we realized it actually mapped really, really well to a console controller. For a good example is, we have 4 abilities that each character has, including a lot of other things to do. There are 4 face buttons on the controller. So once we actually started to refine it, it just made a lot of sense. So we didn't have to shoehorn anything or anything like that. It really ended up being a very sort of fluid experience, trying to get everything working in there. Movement is very much what people are used to in sort of a twin stick shooters. Hitting the face buttons, using the bumpers and the triggers to fire, do attacks and abilities is very natural for console players. And I think with the game itself, Guardians actually translates super well.
What is the hopes for the games? Is esports somewhere down the line?
So we're really coming out in the fall. Once that happens, we have a plan in place to do content afterwards. So we can then continue to support the game and introduce new and dynamic content within the world. Not only that, but we have a team that will be dedicated to ensuring that the game is always in a fantastic state of balance. We'll be able to respond to the community, respond to things in the game literally within days, whereas most console titles will take sometimes months. So we'll be able to keep the game, it to be a very dynamic experience for the player community out there.
And it's going to be strictly as a downloadable game on console?
That's correct. So we're coming out in the fall, and we're coming out for XBLA, that's the Xbox Live Network, and PSN for the PlayStation Network.
Who's this game aimed for? Is it aimed for the people who kind of like the more hardcore games but really don't get it, maybe needs a more slightly lighter version?
I think we're really trying to aim at almost everybody who likes a great competitive experience. What we're really trying to do here is make it sort of easy to learn. You can get into the game, you can get friends, maybe they've heard of the MOBA genre but they didn't really want to get into it. Maybe this is a great way to introduce them to it. Hey, you've got a console, the controller, it's a little simpler to get in. But then once they start to get good at it, they realize there's so much depth in below the systems. You can customize your loadouts for your Guardians. You gain experience as a player the more you play. So that gives you access to new and interesting items to use and make yourself more powerful and play just the way you want. So we're really aiming at just everybody, the hardcore, maybe more casual players, and to see if we can get everybody into the genre, because we just think it's a very exciting place.